This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, this is Jay Muse, Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, and you're listening to the Nerd Corporation podcast. Snooch to the nooch, you cock smokers. Snoochie boochies.
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
Happy New Year! What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Podcast.
He's right.
Hey, what?
Is that?
Oh, what? Oh my God!
Because that's what happened the last time I was on this show. Because I'm pretty sure it was like a shit show at the beginning.
Who the hell are you?
How do you?
Who am I?
Surprise podcast.
Welcome to episode 80, Death Elongating, a Death Stranding spoiler cast.
I forgot about that.
We're going to be talking about Death Stranding, and we have a guest. Welcome once again, our resident teacher, rapper, poet, Weird Sense.
Hi, everybody. Good and you?
Good
Oh,
news.
good.
Good and you. So we're going to skip
I
nerd
swear
news.
I heard that joke in Texas once.
Yeah.
I think you said that to me.
Yeah, I did. In Texas. They go over real well over there.
Eddie Line is notorious for using my jokes in other states that he moves to and updating me on how well they go over.
Ouch. I'm just trying to test how universal he is. That's all. So we're going to skip nerd news today. Catch us next week for NCP News 3. We're just going to get right into this game because holy fuck.
Yeah.
This episode's going to be as long as the game itself.
I don't think
that's even
No,
possible.
I think we got a segment of the game, and so it should be about 88 minutes. Just a little snippet.
just one chapter.
One little chapter.
Actually-
all we're gonna play for you is the credits.
What
Like,
we're
and it'll
going to be
about an
doing
hour
on
and
this
a half.
episode is you're going to hear audio of us just replaying it.
Yeah. We're going to show you the credits twice because that's a thing.
Seriously, I clocked this game in at 47 hours.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even look.
And that's because, like, in the beginning, I was, like, all about, like, doing everything that I could. And then, like, halfway through the game, I was just like, where's the fucking finish line, man? Like,
Which one? Which finish
oh,
line?
yeah, there's two of them. That's why when in the chat, when Derek was like, oh, this end credit scene is as long as the game, I wanted to be like, which one? But I didn't know if he was there yet.
Fucking Ashton Kutcher saying, and then.
Yeah,
Again and again.
And then. We got to give it to Kojima, though. He definitely put out something otherworldly as far as cinematography and, you know...
It is undeniably a game that came out in 2019.
Yes, it is undeniably a game that came out in 2019. Remember how hyped we were for this game?
Oh, yeah.
Well, not
Mostly-
not necessarily
mostly
you,
Not
Derek.
me
but-
so
Mostly,
much.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was on the fence about it because we didn't know anything about it when we were talking about it. All we had were, like 14-minute trailers that didn't show anything.
I just saw a whale and a baby and a ghost, and I was like, I'm fucking sold. I don't know what's happening here, but let's get into this.
Whale baby ghost Kojima.
That's just
Right. I
that's
was
just
like,
how it
okay.
was for me as well. Is I wasn't necessarily excited for the game itself. I was excited that it was Kojima's
Yeah.
next outing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited to see. I was excited to see what it was gonna bring because I knew it was gonna be unique and fucking out there. But that's all I had.
But how much Kojima is too much Kojima? That is the underlying question.
This much Kojima is too much Kojima.
That is the underlying question of this video game for a lot of people. Is,
Well, and I gotta admit, I was expecting more of like the Silent Hill original teaser that we had.
Well, because it's everybody that was in
Right,
the
yeah.
Silent Hill original.
And so,
team.
or I mean, The Evil Within. I was kind of expecting maybe, because that's got a really weird, convoluted story, but it's like specifically horror, and this is not specifically horror.
Right. No, it's more like tension or thriller than
Yeah.
You know what's really weird is
Intrigue.
I've been replaying the beginning Resident Evil games for the last little bit, and
Me too.
Shinji Mikami.
I don't understand the reference.
Shinji Mikami is so strange because I've played both the Evil Within titles, and they're so fucking hard to understand all the time. Like, I don't understand why they're so convoluted. Like, how do you go from doing something so easily recognizable and easy to understand, and like, you know, it doesn't take much to go from point A to point B, like Resident Evil. Like, that first Resident Evil mansion is so iconic.
Which I still haven't even gotten there yet.
You really should.
Or wait, no, I just got there.
You should follow a guide.
Wait, which one are you playing?
No, I'm playing 0.
Oh,
Oh.
so you're not in the actual
No,
mansion.
yeah, I'm in.
So you
the-
haven't played
I'm in
one
the-
yet.
No, I haven't even gotten there yet because then I had to turn around and play fucking Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to you, Derek.
We were on your ass about that.
You were fucking flying through that video game.
Yeah,
bro.
It's like him with Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I don't understand how he does it. Like, are you skipping cutscenes?
Because
Or
that
what?
game
Like,
took
what?
took me a solid like month and a half to finish.
Agreed.
The only time I ever skip a cutscene is if I've seen it already. So like, I'll skip cutscenes in WoW because I'll go back and do old raids that have cutscenes and I'll just skip that shit. But other than that, I don't skip cutscenes. What I do is I sacrifice sleep, right? And just
as you do.
Just in this like bleary-eyed determination of like, I just don't want to ever have to play this again. I just want to get through it now. I just need to get through it now.
I want this game out of my life.
But so, because I mean, yeah, I'd only gotten through chapter 2 or chapter 3, I think.
Yeah,
and
you were as far as I was.
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I'm good. I was like done. And so I went back and started playing Resident Evil 0 until then.
You're having fun?
Yeah.
You like it?
Well, I mean, it's been a minute.
You started with the worst title of that bundle that I gave you.
I recently discovered that because when I got my Xbox and booted it up Christmas Day, I was like, oh shit, dude, here's every game that I've ever bought on my Xbox account, and I was like going through them because everything saves like in the cloud or whatever, and Resident Evil 0 was on there, and I was like, oh,
I've never played
finished this game.
I've never played it, and I've been wondering about
it. Has
maybe
some
playing it.
almost as bad voice acting as the original first Resident Evil. Like it's pretty terrible.
rough.
I never played 0 or 6.
You're
I haven't
better
played
off.
6.
You're better off not playing
See, I mean,
6.
That's
The
what
only
I heard.
redeeming quality of 6 is that Troy Baker is in it.
I do have to say that for a horror game, I love not being able to look around corners.
It adds to the tension,
it
doesn't it?
So does. It really does.
You never
and I think
know
that's
what's in that next frame.
exactly. Or where in the next frame it is. Like, even if you do hear a zombie and you're like, oh shit, something's over there. I don't know how
You
far.
kind of have to move forward
Yeah,
a little bit, like when you're in the train cars.
Yeah. I don't know
trying
how
to-
far down the train car he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on the left
All you
or
can
right.
do is hear him.
Yeah.
You can just hear
and you're
him.
like, okay, let's do this.
Just
and then just
I'm super excited for you to get to the mansion.
Yeah.
In 1 because I can't play that game for very long without wanting to turn it off. And it's the only game that makes me do that now. Like, it's just because the mansion has such an oppressive nature to it, and you're so like, oh, it's crazy. I've
one
never had a
thing
video game do that to me before.
I'll say about these older Resident Evil games is don't not play them for a minute, because you'll go back to it and just be like, where the fuck am I supposed to go?
Yeah. Follow
and that's,
a guy.
I mean, that's kind of
I
what
did that with the
I'm
2
gonna end
remake.
up
Just
doing.
now I had to restart because I had gotten, and I'm like, I fucking don't know where I've been. I don't know who are these people. Is that Frank? I swear I killed him. What's going on here?
See, I want to play that 2 remake again. I really like.
You already know. I already did.
Oh, I know. Right? I had a
fucking-
great time with that.
Cole and I are doing a platinum run, a
Oh.
team platinum run of 5.
Nice.
5 was good.
5 is a good one.
5 gets too much shit, is what 5 gets.
It does, but
It's
the
way too
co-op
much
was
shit.
cool. I mean,
But Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I was going to say a couple things. The first one is that I said this in the chat, and Eddie said that I should say this on our review episode. I will say that it's one of the best like story-driven games I've ever played, but I never want to play it again.
Yeah.
Like that's my like review of it.
That's
Well,
your
Eddie
that's
called
your
me-
back of the box quote.
Yeah, that should be on there, but not from Kojima, from me, like Nick Lewis.
Eddie called me much like Derek. He was like, "Hey man, this is coming up. Like, you might want to get back on and play it." And I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
And so I woke up and I was over the Christmas break, and
And you said you got through 5, right?
yeah, I got through 5 chapters, and then I just basically went online and saw cutscenes, read reviews, read articles, because I wanted to be prepped for this and I wanted to make sure I knew my stuff. But I started on I was on chapter 3. I played to 5, and I had to take a break. I just could not physically keep playing. I was like, okay, I gotta stop. And so then I played the new Star Wars game and switched over to Witcher again to show Lexi. But I was just like, man, I like it. I understand what he's doing. I
Yeah.
understand all this. I cannot play for more than a couple hours at a time.
Like, no, because, you end up going, okay, I get it. I deliver shit. Like, okay.
That's all you do.
No, I get it. I get
all
it.
you
Can we do something else? Can we have some sort of something to break up the monotony
It's like
here?
Amazon and Wish fucking,
Yeah.
right? You get all the weirdness of Wish.com.
Well, you get
the
your
delivery of Amazon.
packages from Wish faster than it takes you to deliver a package in Death Stranding.
Right.
I was surprised myself that I beat the game before either of you two. Like,
Dude, I went ham on that game for like a week. Like I was just like I was going so hard, and then like weird, like you said, you just hit this wall,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to not, it's so hard to break through that wall,
Yeah.
and then
It's because it does really well with the beginning hour, like in pulling you into this world and explaining like there's a lot of intrigue here, there's a lot of shit that you have no idea what's going on, but the way that they go about introducing the world is super compelling and makes you want to continue playing, because that's exactly how I was in the beginning as well. And like if you listen to our first impressions, like me and you were pretty fucking hot on this game.
Yeah, we were.
We don't know how to explain it, but we're fucking
We
digging
were
it.
so much younger then. We
right.
knew nothing.
right.
Well, it's just because of how well it portrays its world in the
Yeah.
first 2 hours, and then
And
much
then
like how Eddie said I was the same way. I was going fucking hard. I was delivering everything in the game, like doing all the side missions, building shit. I was building roads, and then eventually something just happened where I'm just like, I'm not done. I'm not digging the game anymore.
That's the other thing I was gonna say as to how I got through it so fast.
Yeah.
I did nothing but SAM orders. Nothing. I just barreled fucking through it. Sometimes I'd be like, oh look, there's a road, and I'll throw him some materials, whatever, and then I just keep on going. Like I fucking beelined it to the finish. Like I didn't do anything extra at all. Like I didn't even go and kill mules or take them out.
I always ran past them.
Yeah, no, I just skirted them and called it good. Like,
Well, and it doesn't reward you for doing that. It kind of
Exactly.
is like, no, it's not about killing people.
yeah, well, and if you
honestly,
kill
killing
people, now
is-
you have to go and take them to the incinerator.
I never did. Like at the end of the game, I like when I was getting closer, and you had the grenade launcher with like the lethal rounds. I just kill him, and then be like, "Oh, Sam, you got a body on your hands." I'm like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm going that way."
That's funny. I didn't know that it would even let you do it.
Yeah, it does.
Because they push it so fucking hard
That you'll cause a
well, I
weird
mean, as
outage.
soon as you get a gun, because the first thing you get is an actual gun. They give you a real
I
gun.
was like, okay, this is gonna come in handy because these motherfuckers were shooting at me as I was running through this forest. I'm like, all right, and then fucking Die Hard Ass comes on the radio and he's like, you can't kill anyone or else it will trigger a void out. And I'm just like, I will kill you.
I didn't give a fuck toward the end of the game. I was just killing him and leaving him there, and like nothing ever happened. At least as far
build
as
a
I knew.
shelter and wait for like 2 days and see what happens.
Well, like, and because I killed one, and then they he came over the radio and was like, "Oh, you better fucking do it." And I was like, "Ha!" And I just left because there were still guys there, and I just wanted to kill him so I could kind of fucking get away.
Yeah.
And I figured, I don't know, game mechanics. Maybe the rest of his buddies took him to the incinerator. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was immersed in the game a little bit more than I'm going to admit, but like I didn't want to kill anybody. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I was following the game's rules.
Yeah.
And
after
like,
that, I was trying not to.
Yeah. Like I would light a motherfucker up with some rubber rounds.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'll sit there and act like they're real bullets. You know.
Dude, I'll hit somebody with a bola gun like 100 yards away in the grass, and they'll just be like, "What the fuck, man?" And I'm just like. Yeah, trying to crouch, but I've got like a mountain of packages.
Well, and I didn't. One thing I didn't realize about the bola gun at first, is that that ties them up, but only for like a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta go kick them.
So like,
you gotta go kick them.
So I didn't know that at first, and I bola gunned the shit out of like 6 dudes, and I'm just like, yeah, and then. I'm just kind of chilling, doing my thing.
They're stuck there forever.
Like I had to go get a package like from one of the post boxes, right?
Yeah.
And so I went and got it, and I go trucking back, which it was only a couple feet away. Uh-huh. So I turn around and they're all standing back up, like coming at me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
So
those new guys.
But then I realized, they're still like writhing around. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're like struggling to get free, and then I went over and kicked them all. But
I tried to piss on one, and he was like, "What are you doing? Whipping your dick out here? Not gonna happen in front of these guys? No way."
Really?
Yeah.
Rita says that?
Yeah. He'll yell at you if you try, depending on where you try to pee.
That's funny.
The one thing that I kept like finding little bits and pieces that were hilarious is like save for the part where you don't have your BB, but the times when you do, and because I was just chugging monster like before I got the all-terrain skeleton where my stamina would run out, and then I'm like, oh shit, I should probably take a piss. So I'd find like a nice rock that's on an outcrop, and I'll piss off like I would in real life,
Yeah.
And BB just starts laughing, and I'm just like, "Are you laughing at my fucking tiny dick? Like, what are you doing?" And you're pissing, and he's just like.
So, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The mules are one of my cons of the game. I feel like they are just kind of annoying. And that's really like...
They really are.
Like, I understand, like, their purpose, but they're just kind of fucking weird. Like, the terrorists, I can understand because they serve a purpose in the game. The mules are just obsessed with packages.
Yeah, and they just hilarious. When they did that little bit of exposition about that, I laughed my ass off.
It's funny.
It's like a drug to them.
It's
like, for fuck's sake, come on.
But it's fucking stupid.
It is.
Because they don't deliver the packages.
No, they just hoard them.
They just
hoard them in this post box that's hidden by a rock, which is cool. That's cool. Yeah. But that's art direction. That's not like, and the reasoning behind the mule is just seems like they are there to just be there and be an obnoxious, an annoyance. Like
they don't do anything. They don't deliver them. They don't do anything.
Bypassing them is not.
Yeah, you just run
difficult.
right past.
I mean,
it's true. And see that bypassing them, like the fact that you can do that, like just makes them
irrelevant.
Yeah,
right.
I've seen a lot of people do like a lot of people. This is where the Metal Gear of this game shows is sneaking into bases and doing all that shit. I feel like the sneaking ability, like the sneaking option, is really bad in this game.
Well, it's weird. You're right. I mean, you got a whole backpack full of fucking you got tons of packages in your back. What do you? You're not sneaking anywhere.
Well, I mean, it even says when it's telling you to hide in the tall grass. Yeah. If you have too many on your back, they're gonna see it.
Well, sure.
Because of fucking course they are.
Of course they are.
And not only that, there's also this mechanic where you can counterattack their weird sensing thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? Because they're where in an area.
Your deck goes off when their sensor goes off.
But how the fuck are you? I did it once, and I still don't understand how to do it.
Here's the thing: when that initial scan happens, it's not like when the scan that actually pings you.
Yeah,
it's that first little flash of orange.
That's when you hit it.
That's when you hit it. Because I figured that out too. Because I'd hit it right as soon as that second flash went off, and they'd still fucking ping me.
Because they've already seen you at that point. If you do it right after the first one,
you have to do it
then
right
you'll get
then.
the little notification that says the sensor's been negated.
Yeah, I feel like they're...
And by the way...
I didn't even know you could do that.
By the way, that is like my biggest negative about this game is that none of your abilities are explained very well. And if you go into the info, it just says, oh, hey, like, this is a thing you can do. Well, but it doesn't tell you how to do it. It doesn't give you any sort of expectation.
I feel like it explains it
conditions.
Fine. I just feel like it defeats itself. Like, the purpose defeats itself because, like, there's so many things in this game telling you not to be violent.
Well, yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, if you go into the info and, like, for example, look up how to do the zipline stuff, which is something I never figured out because I would go into the info and it's like, yeah, so the zip lines are this, and then this is this and this, but it doesn't say, yeah, so what you need to do is this. It never tells you what to do at all. So it's not like, yeah, so you press this button to attach this. Nothing. Fucking nothing. For any of your abilities. It just tells you that ability is a thing. Yeah. And that's it.
Speaking of zip lines, because I'm a glutton for punishment and I'm platinuming this game, I built... So, like, now I'm going back so that I can get 5-star standings with all of the facilities. And so I'm starting back at Capital, not City or whatever. Ugh. So I finished the first facility, so I don't have to go back to that one. So I went to the way station west of that. And from there to Port Knot City, I created a system of zip lines. So now I'm just like zoom.
So tell me how to fucking zip line. I need to know. So just for my own
You just walk up to a zip line and push square.
Well, because like I would walk up to it.
But there has to be another station in range.
Right.
Yeah.
But like...
Which apparently the range is insane.
Well, but see, and that's the thing. No matter what zip line I went to that somebody had already built, there was never anything in range.
You would always have to build the second.
There's a lot of that.
Like, that doesn't make sense. Who would just build one zipline thing?
I found myself always carrying the PCC level 2 just so if I saw one, and because I made one from, when it's an optional delivery, I think, but after you're supposed to meet a dead man up in the cabin and the void out triggers. There's a mission where you can go back up there to get his fucking winter coat or some shit.
Yeah.
And I went up there and I got it, and then I built a zip line from there, and I built like 3 of them that went just all the way down the fucking mountain.
Nice. Yeah, dude, like...
Which is obviously what they wanted you to do in that situation.
Well, to me, that's the most impressive part of this game. Like, that's the coolest mechanic to me, is that concept of... Like, okay, Kojima felt lonely, and he wanted to make this about his isolation and feeling lonely and what you could do with social media. So this whole concept of you never see another player because we want you to feel lonely, but you still feel connected by what they build.
Yeah, you have that
and
interactivity.
you can help out and everything. I think that is cool.
Yeah, that part
I think that's
really
a concept that could be utilized in other games and pushed forward and will be pushed forward. And the idea of likes, and the more likes that you have, you can use to buy things and things like that. I think it's a cool concept, but I think it's one that wasn't fully realized to the full potential yet. I think he introduced it. I think it's going to be cool if we see it in other games. It reminded me very much of like the Nemesis system in Lord of the Rings in terms of being kind of this revolutionary new thing that we might see put forward in other games. But the mechanics, like you say, like a lot of them, you didn't know how to zip line, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know that killing people, you could just run away, and apparently it doesn't matter, nothing happens. Like, those things there kind of felt like they started falling flat, and why am I going to go kill people? Why am I going to go deal with these people if I don't have to? And that to me was kind of something that I was like, I like this, it's almost there with some concepts, and it's revolutionary with other concepts, but after 2 hours of this, I gotta switch it off. I gotta find something else to do.
So that's actually one of my pros, is the multiplayer aspect of this game.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's cool in theory. It works on paper. I just feel like there's not really a whole lot of compelling reasons to do it. Like, besides the idea that like you're creating a better world, I just don't really see, like, the moment-to-moment gameplay doesn't make up for that.
Yeah.
Like if it was rewarding a little bit more, like the likes is cool and it's cute, but it's like I understand like where he was going with that, and in a way like the coolest part about it is how it connects to players.
Yeah.
Like we've seen this type of multiplayer in different titles such as Dark Souls. That's kind of the one that really skyrocketed
like
this popularity of like intangibly
and stuff like that.
Yeah, intangibly being there, you know, without really being there. And you know, like there's the trolls and everything, and this game is very obviously like no trolls. You know, like you can't except for those assholes that would park fucking trucks in front of places. Did you ever? I probably never came across that, but like that was fixed in a patch. Like you can't do that anymore. Now vehicles will spawn like 10 feet away from where they originally parked in other players' worlds. But yeah, like Hartman's lab couldn't fucking get in. Like because there was a giant fucking truck in the way. So I had to stop what I was doing, get in the truck, back it out, and then I could go back in. And this was hitting me at a point where I'm like, I'm fucking frustrated with this video game because of the mountain sequence, which is a big fucking con in my book. So like I was like, this is just one thing where I'm like, all right, you know, you tried to not do the trolley aspect of having an open game for other people to like, you know, be a part of your world, but you kind of failed. But I still think it's a cool concept. I think it's really cool. I feel like this game is just an amalgamation of cool shit that Kojima wanted to put in a video game. Like I feel like his original idea was, you know, kind of the base of Death Stranding. Like he wanted to tell a story about how, you know, we're all disconnected and we need to find a way to reconnect, and it's not good to live, you know, like an isolationist. And
he was very specific and didn't mince words about that. Yes, it's political. I mean, he said this is after this concept is because of the Trump election and Brexit.
Yeah,
like that's what it. And obviously, there's elements of climate change and the destruction of the world, and he's like, no, I'm not going to not talk about that. Like this is what it is and why I'm doing it. And so what you touched on, which is interesting, is this concept of wanting to make the world a better place and leave things behind and everything else like that. And you're right. I think that there could have been more reward for that to do things.
That's why I stopped, is because I was like, I feel like I'm getting literally nothing from this other than the satisfaction that I'm helping out other people
and mild convenience.
Yeah.
At times. But like, you know, what's the whole point of everybody, you know, quote unquote getting together and building all these roads for a game that, like, at least for me, when I'm done, I am never ever going to touch again in my life.
Right.
You know.
Well, and not only that, like the work that has to be put in to putting these roads in is
so much goddamn
ridiculous. Like especially in the mountain areas, to make a road is preposterously fucking stupid. Like, oh my god, they want 7,000 chiralium crystals.
I feel like this game trolled me.
Well, yeah, there's a big argument to be made that Kojima's just taking the piss.
Yeah,
like he's just like, fuck all of you. I'm gonna make this weird fucking baby game, and you're all gonna fucking like it or you're not.
And my primary evidence that like I totally believe this is true is that final taking BB to the incinerator.
I don't want to talk about that
mission. That thing was like. It's absolutely. He's definitely trolling me.
Yeah,
that was confirmation.
Yeah, we'll get to that because I feel like that's one of the stronger aspects of the game. Is the
reveals,
story.
Right? Like the reveals of what BB is, who he is, who the main character that keeps appearing in your flashbacks.
Yeah.
With the fucking roads, this is leading into one of my other cons. The vehicles. The vehicles are 100% useless.
Dog shit.
Except I found for like the motorcycle right off the bat. That was the one that I found.
Well, I mean, if you fucking like, dude, you know, if you're Skyriming it and
you have no idea. I was a fucking monster with those things.
I was an asshole.
I would, dude. That's the only thing that saved me in this game from just fucking losing it. Like, I would just bust ass across there, dude.
So, and unless you're putting in an exorbitant amount of work to build these roads, which will take hours, you know, like if not like just hours upon work, hours upon hours of work, and then like you get the chance to, you know, go, you know, travel faster,
right?
And not only that, like you're not wasting battery because there's like this
that
weird little
strip
grid.
In the middle.
Yeah, there's the little strip grid.
Why wouldn't they do that for the whole road? By the way,
resources.
What the fuck?
It's believable. I don't know. It's just like I never used a truck because I always broke it.
The only time I used a truck is when I stole one from the terrorists.
Oh yeah. Like there's a jump button for the truck.
Yeah,
which I didn't know at all.
That actually got me out of some.
Would have been fucking nice to know.
Same for me, but like there were times where you would just get stuck and it was over. Like it was
had
just,
to get out.
You had to get out.
You're getting out.
Yeah, there's nothing else you're gonna do.
I don't know. Like the skeletons were more useful for like everything, like your exoskeletons,
like the all terrain.
Once I got the all terrain,
it was over. Once I got that, I was like,
yeah.
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, the little fucking cart that you can pull behind you ends up being kind of worthless if you get into too rocky of an area.
But that shit's the hero, especially that's like the fucking savior of that god awful snowy mountain.
You know
part.
what though? Like even like if you are in the rocky areas, as long as you fucking go slow enough, it'll usually be okay without snapping.
Yeah, it'll bounce above the rocks.
Yeah, you have to go.
It never snapped for me. It only disconnected if I tried to. I think it was use a rappelling rope.
Yeah, I did that. I did that a couple times. Like I just go bombing off and it'd land down on the ground. I'd be like, "Oh, all right. Well, hell yeah, let's do this." And then I'd go grab it.
Yeah, like being able to jump on top of the carrier and
ride it down
a mountain.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how much time that saved me and how much frustration.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I don't really find the vehicles very useful. Like you can go for a little bit and then it's like, all right, you know, because I only built like a little bit of that road, and I kind of half expected other people to like help out,
but they don't.
Dude, when I was playing, there was actually a decent little stretch right there. From the beginning city.
But I feel like that's kind of like.
But yeah,
that's there. Like you build the first part. And if you don't, then it almost kind of feels like that's the first part that gets built, and then the rest of it is up to you in the players.
And the
but
meat
like
of
nobody
it's after chapter 3.
But nobody fucking does it.
Yeah,
so the road never get
totally
built.
Did it in my area. Like
really?
There was a good little stretch right there at the beginning. Like I'm not talking about that first little section you make. Like it went on for a good minute.
There's like the road. There was like the bridge.
Yeah, and it did that whole big turn around.
See, mine had that as well. Yeah.
Before I get into the next point. We just want to let you know that you can help us out by getting you all these kinds of fun things, loot prizes and all that by subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/Nerdcore Podcast. We're going to be putting a lot more effort into our Patreon. We're going to make an Amazon wish list, and if you pay a certain tier a month, we'll do a drawing about a certain thing on the wish list that you can have. So it's patreon.com/Nerdcore Podcast. And if you can't make a monthly contribution, consider donating to our PayPal, paypal.com/Nerdcore Podcast. We just want to have, all the best equipment and everything that we can to make sure we make this experience better for you. How did you guys feel about characters?
I think that it's one of the stronger aspects of the game. I feel like there's a lot of characters and that feel pretty fleshed out, especially in this world. Like the way that this game goes about telling its story is that it does it by episodes, and each episode is a certain character. And while I didn't like that while I was playing it, I've grown to, be okay with it just because it's just a, conventional way of telling your story. And I don't really have any characters that I don't like. Like, if I didn't like them, then
Hardman.
They were, yeah. I fucking hated Die Hardman.
Yeah.
He's just obnoxious. He'll get on there and
you take 2 steps and you just hear Sam, and I'm just like, what now?
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole fucking game. That's like 30 to 40 hours of just that.
I think to me, Fragile was interesting and Heartman was interesting.
I really
just
like
his
Heartman.
concept of what happens to him throughout the day.
It's
and
so
every
fucking
few
cool.
minutes
It's so cool, and it's so creative.
Yeah.
It's so creative. Like him die. Like he died during a heart surgery. And then, like, now he's just stuck in this perpetual loop where he dies every is it 22 or 21?
It's like 21 minutes.
I think it's 23, isn't it?
I'm
it's
pretty
21.
sure it's
20-something minutes, he'll fucking die, and then he has this, like, permanent AIE, or is it AED?
Yeah.
Machine
Just
strapped
like
to him, so
defibrillator.
every 3 minutes he'll just come back. And so he's stuck on his beach, which is a concept we'll get onto later. He's stuck on his beach trying to find his wife and kids because they died in that attack.
So he's making the best out of this concept that's going to happen to him
Oh,
over and
it's so
over
fucking
again.
cool.
And I think when he said it happened to him like 200 and something thousand times or something.
Like 250,000 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Like at that point, and he still hadn't found them.
I loved that when you go and talk to him, he does his thing, he dies, and then you just sit there waiting.
You just hang out.
I love that. And like if you scan things in the room, like he'll give you
He'll
likes.
give you likes.
One thing that
was so funny.
I didn't notice at first until it actually happened is when he's talking to you. I think it's when he comes back and he just drops and hits the floor, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I think Die Hardman comes on and goes, don't worry, his floor is padded. And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's genius. Like,
Yeah, I laughed out loud when I
Yeah.
saw that part. I was like, of course he'd have a padded house.
Yeah.
I didn't like Deadman. I liked the character and what he brought, but the moment that I figured out that it wasn't Guillermo del Toro's voice,
yo, can we
So
please
weird.
talk about the Dead Man and Norman Reedus shower scene now?
Oh my god!
fuck?
Oh my god! That was the.
Don't worry, they can't hear us in here. We're showering together. I was like,
It's so
can't
weird.
you go outside
bro.
somewhere?
Gets
I
in
don't
with
know.
you.
But like
You're
they
naked,
wouldn't-
but
they
or
wouldn't
you're
go.
not
hey.
naked actually, but like he gets in there and he's
Well,
just
he's
like,
just getting showered his clothes like it's not even phasing
Well,
him.
and
and he
It's
just
don't
looks
you
like he
think-
keeps inching closer and closer towards you.
Don't you
and he's
think
just
that the
like-
higher ups would be like, wait, why are they showering together?
Well, and Norman Reedus kind of looks like he's smiling sometimes while he's listening. It was a weird cutscene. It was odd.
It was
yeah.
very weird.
but yeah, like
And he gets out and he's just soaked. And he's like leaving a bunch of water behind him.
yeah, I think that kind of just took me out. And then that one part where he's like, "Hey, if shit hits the fan, I'm leaving this fucking baby." Like if shit hits the fan, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna leave this motherfucker here. Like I was just like, damn.
Yeah, no. Well, and it's that it's his character arc where he's, you know, like in the beginning and before that part, he's like explaining his disdain for the BBs. He doesn't look at them like they're humans. Like he only
No,
looks
he
at them like
tells
they're
Norman
tools.
Reedus, he said, "Kill it. Like you don't need this thing. Really, just kill it."
Yeah, that's just kind of like his arc, and then you know, you go into the battlefield with Cliff and everything, and which, you know, I feel like I'm going to say this a lot, but we'll get into that later. You know, like the way that he starts out, the beginning of that part, saying like, "Hey, if push comes to shove, I'll just give him the BB."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll sacrifice the BB if that means I can get out. And then, you know, like you progress
Well,
throughout
yeah, because like you've been at this time for Sam. This is like the second battlefield that he's been in, and Deadman's in there. He's like fucking. He's terrified.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
He's got BB and he's like hiding out, and that's why he was like, if it has to be, I'll just give it to him and I'll just fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
So to take a step into the, you know, overarching game, the whole game itself, one of the things which I expected but I really, really liked was just the misdirection of, you know, is he bad? Is this person bad? Is this person bad?
Yeah.
Who's really bad? What's going on? Like, I really liked how they would totally
Just keep you guessing.
but like they would lead you a little bit, like not enough to make it like heavy-handed, but
They're
they
not
would
beating you over the head.
exactly. They would lead you enough to where you're like, yeah, this dude's totally fucked up. This is totally the guy.
Yeah.
And then and then just flip it right on its head.
Yeah.
And it was really nice.
Cliff was really compelling. I
yeah.
enjoyed his character, and Fragile is one of the characters that I really appreciated.
Yeah.
Standout character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say probably my favorite character was, even though I got by the third Battlefield, I was just like, fucking goddamn it. But Cliff was like one of my favorite characters. Then
I agree.
Mads Mikkelsen's character.
He was one of my favorite stories. My other favorite story was Mama's story. Like that shit. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, oh,
Mama's
fuck,
was
dude.
pretty interesting, and the twin sister.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
I guess you're screwed now.
I think Higgs was one of my favorite characters too.
Troy Baker.
Higgs
Goddamn.
was cool.
Give it up for fucking Troy Baker.
That one
Motherfucker,
part
dude.
when you're fighting him at the end, and because you fight him in segments, and
Right.
then oh my god, the fist fighting.
Sorry.
And so when you're like in the lake with him, and you're just like, it's like an old like Tekken game.
Dude,
It's like Punch Out. It was like Punch Out.
That
But
was the best.
before-
You had bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before
Loved
you
it.
start fighting, he goes, "What do you say, Sam? How about one last boss fight?" And I was like, "Holy fucking
was-
shit,
He
dude!"
broke the fourth wall a lot.
Yeah.
It
Troy
was
Baker-
so good.
Well, and so does Sam. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked
Yeah.
about him peeing. He'll frequently break it and talk to you and be like, "I'm not going to whip my dick out here."
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking, I think Troy Baker got robbed at the Game Awards. That he didn't get not one award or not even a
He
nomination.
didn't even get mentioned.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen, I thought was a winner for that, but Baker should have at least been nominated alongside him.
Yeah.
even if he didn't win.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he should have been at least mentioned.
Yeah,
But I think Higgs was really, because like you just kind of sit there with him and you almost root for him. Not completely, but like you sit there and you're just like, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth with Higgs just because, like, I love Troy Baker so much. I just don't really feel like he's a super compelling character because he's pretty one note. He's just like, we're doing this. We're doing this.
Yeah,
extinction thing.
He's
and
the one person that is like,
a
no,
stereotype.
I'm a piece of shit. I'm doing piece of shit things. Let's go.
coolest
Right.
design in the whole fucking game.
And here's my
Yeah.
my evil monologue at the
Exactly.
beginning, and I'm going to go off on these diatribes, and here's
yeah.
that. And I thought he was okay. He wasn't, but because of that one notice to me, he wasn't as compelling as some of the other characters to me. But I still thought he did a great job, and he
Yeah.
had his place for
I
sure.
really thought it was cool when he finally like took off his mask, and you got to see what he looked like, and his face was all just like, I was like, yeah, that's a Kojima thing, the way he looks. But
Yeah.
I loved how his like Odra deck was like red instead of blue. Like
yeah,
it was-
and his BB was just like the doll.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so fucking cool. Yeah, Higgs' design is so
Yeah.
cool with
I
the
really
golden
like how
mask
they
and all
used
that.
The mask
Well,
too.
and his like lion.
Oh,
Kinda
the
the-
BT.
Yeah.
His beach thing lion was pretty cool.
I think
Fucking cool as
I was actually kind of like while we were going, I was kind of hoping he'd kind of like make a face turn. You know what I mean? Like you like go from heel to face.
This isn't WWE.
I'm just saying,
Well,
like,
and the cast
and then
does
he-
this. Like
Yeah.
every
throws out
single
a rock
fucking person
bottom.
in the game does that.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
in a like I'm saying, like in a cast where everybody's doing that, Higgs stands out because he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, and Higgs has one intricate scene with Fragile that to me was the most interesting and most like diabolical when he's like, "Yeah, I'll strip you down, wear this hood."
That
and
was
you're
a really
gonna
cool
walk
scene.
out." I
Yeah,
was like,
that was-
that is
that solidifies him as just
Right,
like this.
Because then it
evil
puts
dude.
it into perspective why she's
always
always
Like,
wearing
bodysuit.
this
Yeah.
bodysuit.
Neck
Because
to
then you
toe.
see that she's like, except for her head, she like has aged incredibly because of the time fall.
Right, I loved those little moments where she had her gloves off and you can see like
Yeah.
the wrinkled hands.
Yeah.
And, like,
Well, and like in his message that he was doing, that he was creating with doing Fragile that way, like, hey, I'm gonna ruin your fucking body, but I'm gonna leave your face because it needs to be the face of a terrorist. You know, and so like as you progress through those early missions in the game, you know, like you start to come to realize like not a whole lot of people really dig Fragile, like at all. And then you'll start to understand like, okay, she was involved in this terrorist plot. She had no idea, you know, it was all Higgs doing. Higgs totally fucking betrayed her. Apparently they were like, you know, co-workers at one point. And so now for him to just completely heel turn like that and use that shit against her, that scene hit really hard just because the way that it was built up. And now kind of like knowing after you know that, you look at Fragile in a completely different light. Oh yeah. Because at my point, you know, like when she reveals her hand in like the very beginning of the game when you're in that cave, like that's how they explain Timefall, which is preposterously fucking stupid. I really don't dig the Timefall.
Yeah, because like what?
Why is time like in condensate in rain? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh. Like, and I understand, like, this is like, you know, this is coming from the Japanese, you know, the guy that likes a lot of Japanese shit, and I constantly suspend my disbelief for a lot of different shit. I just think it's really strange, and I feel like it's just it's a problem.
Well, not only that, it seems really selective. Like everything you're wearing is fine. Yeah, and has no consequence.
Your clothing would be some of the first
to
age,
you know
yet
what I mean?
That's not affected.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but like buildings are made probably with the same stuff that you're using on your clothing. Mm-hmm. So why are we not using that shit to build our structures like our roads? Because it says
the roads do deteriorate.
Well, not only the roads, but like everything that you make, zip lines, post box, generators, everything you
structure.
make. So, like, are we just not using that resource?
But everything that's already there is fine.
And this might just be me nitpicking as well. But when you, like, for example, when you come out from under a Timefall shelter, or you go outside, your hood takes a second to come up.
Oh yeah, it doesn't come up immediately.
You're fine while it's coming up.
Not a gray hair.
I would like to have seen like just a little bit of degradation, as it's coming up. You know.
Also, with Sam, isn't it? He's sort of immune in ways as well to death and
right.
So it's weird to me that he's so protective of the Timefall, because if the Timefall affects him to the point where he ages or dies,
he can just repatriate.
He just comes back, and so that to me was interesting. And the overall themes, which really makes Higgs an interesting character to dive into, is Kojima's talking about. We need to have connections and we want everybody to come together, and knots are a big imagery where she has those knots that she's tying. Cities are called knots. Knots are tied together, and so we want all this. But Higgs in his own way was trying to do that same thing, because he was trying to take all of the beaches and make it one big beach where everybody could be together. So in a way, he's trying to do exactly what Kojima is making the point of, but he's doing it through death
instead of
technology.
Right.
Well, not only that, that's the wish of one person as opposed to the wish of many.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the and why that is the bad option of that, is that it's pretty fucking selfish. And why I draw the conclusion between this and you know, my darling movie End of Evangelion, it's almost fucking identical. I'm not gonna spoil End of Eva for anybody, but like when the ending part is happening, when you're on the beach, when you're talking to Emily and everything, or whoever the fuck she is, I was in a party with Eddie, and I was like, this is just End of Eva.
Yeah.
Like 100%. It's like there are like beat for fucking beat, her explaining shit is like, oh my god, this is Rei and Shinji. This is fucking weird as hell. But I don't know.
I thought that was in my opinion, I thought that was a really good reveal when they say, oh yeah, by the way, like, yeah, the president's physical body was here and died, but I'm a part of her, and now I'm stuck on this beach. I was like,
so we can start getting into Emily's character here. The big reveal is that Emily is Bridget, right?
Yeah.
So Bridget was born, I guess, and there were two different sides of her. One was her Ka, one was her Ha.
Which wasn't explained at all.
No.
I feel like it's very convoluted and it doesn't work. Like, I like the reveal, but I don't like the explanation, like, really at all.
And they're essentially, like, the end of the world entities.
Yeah,
They're
the
supposed
extinction
to be
entities.
the extinction
Right.
entities.
And that's another thing I want to
EEs,
get
if
into
you will.
too, because like the EEs is an idea is smart and it's compelling and it's interesting. However, like, were there 5 other human EEs?
No,
Like, I understand, like, in the sky, that's what that's representing is the 5 people in the sky are the other extinction entities, because Amelie's supposed to be the 6th, right?
Yeah, so I mean, so it's like, yeah, well then, yes, they are other people, because I forgot about that.
But in that moment when Hartman is discussing the EEs, he's talking about the dinosaurs and shit.
Well, that's one.
So was there a dinosaur EE?
Yeah, no. So
A big fucking.
it could be.
And how did it comprehend the idea of ending?
Just imagining a raptor with a little copy in a little tube.
Here's what I was
wandering around.
Here's what I was thinking is that Bridget and Amelie are part of the EE. Like, the EE is not Bridget or Amelie or a separation of the two. Like, I think that the extinction entity is its own entity, and that's how it chose to present itself, was to create this Bridget and Amelie.
And I think that the previous ones, it was just this.
It wasn't a person. Or
yeah, it was
anything.
just like a manifestation of something. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have to be like a raptor.
So
or a
an
human
EE. So what you guys are saying is that an EE is like a different entity.
Yeah.
Like
So I think
and
what
it just
happened.
chooses someone.
I think.
So
what
what's
happened,
the point of choosing
It's
someone?
It's Gozer.
Well, and honestly, it could be negated if you just are hugged.
Yeah.
That's what the message was.
I mean, that's all you gotta
that
do.
part.
Just give it a hug.
I think what it was is that, like, for example, I think that everyone, like, in this world, when they're whatever the hell, the Ka and Ha are like one, and then I think what happened is somehow when Bridget was born, they separated, and I think maybe the EE latched onto her, like, in the beach world, and that's why she became that.
I think the EEs are more than that. I think they're like, let's say the meteor that killed the dinosaurs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that could be an EE, because it's an entity, not a person, not something.
See, I mean, I feel like it has to have a consciousness, though, not just a big space rock. Like, I feel like that might have been the tool that the EE used.
So piggybacking off that, I feel like that's kind of one of my, it's an honorable mention of a pro, is how contemplative this game is. Like, I've thought about this game nonstop ever since I beat it. And those are those just kind of questions where it's like, it's open to interpretation.
Right.
Because it's implied that there is like a higher being that is explaining, these EEs, these extinction entities.
Kojima even says he doesn't know, hasn't thought through all of it.
We should stop listening to Kojima,
right?
Because he said some really fucking stupid shit at the release of this game, talking about how Americans don't get it,
right?
Just because it's not a first-person shooter, and like he's very selective on his.
Right. It was the Scorsese Marvel movies aren't movies.
Yeah.
It just showed a really weird side of Kojima that I didn't expect to see, like him not really handling the criticism that well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see on Twitter, we made a joke about this, about he'll literally retweet anybody. Like,
I didn't get one.
That's giving praise. Like,
I'm nobody.
I just don't understand. Like, it's just kind of hard. It sucks to see Kojima just kind of like be so hurt over like the criticism that he'll go as far as to just completely dismiss it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel like this is a great video game. I don't really even feel that this is a good video game.
Well, it's I feel the same way, but then I think it's like, okay, he straight up left a very, at the time, prestigious video game company and started his own shit, and this is his flagship game from his own company, so it might not be perfect, for the first game that comes out.
That's why I'm not super hard on it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fully convinced to say that it's not a good video game, but I don't hate it. And that's kind of like my closing argument, so I won't get too much into it. But I don't hate the video game. In fact, I feel like it kind of has its own place. It has its own purpose.
It has its own charm.
Well, it's fucking filled with charm.
You know?
Like, there are so many charming moments. Like, when that first explanation of Hartman, and when he dies, and, like, he's, like, constantly giving you the thumbs up to give you likes and all that shit, and all this shit. Like, I really dug that part, and just kind of how cheeky it was. Like, it seemed like, you know, like, this is Kojima showing his love for movies, because he's, like, talking about how, you know, I just love Hartman a lot, because, like, the way that they explain his kind of like his lore, his life, you know, like, moment to moment basis in his life, like how he's like, oh yeah, you know, you'd be surprised how many things you can get done in 22 minutes, you know, like, and he's like, sex is pretty hard, but, you know, like, you know, there's not a whole lot of that going on anyways, you know. I don't know, it's Kojima, just, you need to chill out, man. Just understand, like, this is something that I really wholeheartedly believe in, is that if you put something out into the world, if you put your heart and soul into creating something, then you need to be okay with criticism.
Yeah.
Like, and not only that, like, you need to, first of all, you need to put it out there. You know, whatever you, and this is what I'm trying to tell Joey with his music. I'm just like, put it out. Just like, fucking, whatever you're doing, like, feel good about it, and then put it out. And then as soon as you get that criticism, learn from it and make something better. You can't make things without having criticism. You can't. I feel like you need to continue to want to be better, to make better things.
Right.
And, like, I feel like everybody's been sucking Kojima's dick for as long as he possibly, like, forever. And I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah.
I love Metal Gear. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is his best game he's ever made, because it is perfection in stealth combat. It's perfect, and with gameplay, there's nothing wrong with Metal Gear 5 at all. You know, story sucks ass, but, like, in terms of gameplay, I feel like it's perfect. And for him to, that's why this game is disappointing to me, is the gameplay. But obviously, we've talked about gameplay ad nauseum. I just feel like where this game was going is that he's obviously a huge movie buff, and he wants to make. I feel like he's kind of phasing out of the whole genre bending of movies and video games. I feel like we're phasing out of video games, and like in the last couple weeks, he's talked about how he wants to just make movies, you know, and all this shit. So I don't know, and like he's using tons of fucking movie actors to play in his game.
Right.
Like,
actors are all switching over to video games because it's an industry that makes more money.
Super lucrative.
Yeah.
What did y'all think of Norman Reedus?
He was just Norman Reedus. Like, that's
Yeah.
he was
Oh my
Daryl
God.
Dixon in this game. Like,
By the way, I don't know if this happened to you guys, because it only happened to me like twice in the entire game.
Yeah.
Granted, you dived into it a bit more than I did, but there were a couple of times where I went and showered, and it displayed an ad for some AMC show that he has.
It's when you're taking a shit. It's only when you're taking a
Is
shit.
It is.
because when you're showering,
Okay.
it's inside.
right.
And
It's
Yeah.
the
like you see
specific
his
product
ass
placement,
and-
like Monster. I
Yeah.
mean, it's,
Yeah. I mean, that was... Because, like, that was... I mean, Monster... Okay, maybe I could believe... I don't know. Maybe there was a stockpile somewhere of millions of monsters.
No.
But, like...
It's fucking blatant
Did
advertising.
you know-
There's
No, of course.
There's no, like,
No,
reasoning for it. There
like,
was
real-
no
real
other
quick.
Of
than
course,
just
but I
fucking
can
Monster Game was
I can
funny.
at least pretend
Real quick,
that existed.
did you know that
But-
if you fill up your canteen with water, it automatically transforms it into Monster?
Wow.
You can fill
The
your
worst
canteen.
Jesus
I know, that
character
is the
ever.
worst. That is the worst
I just,
Jesus
like,
of all
Fucking
time.
Holy
Kyle
God.
Christ.
Craig.
Christ.
Craig
Christ.
Craig Christ. But yeah, no, that blew me away. I was like, because I could totally pretend that yes, maybe somewhere somebody just chucked a bunch of Monster, but like, why would there be
You pound that
Ads.
fucking shit.
why?
Oh,
yeah.
Why would there be ads for a television show that wouldn't have been around for like hundreds of years?
Yeah, it just Yeah, it was just blatant.
It's one of those cheeky moments that just doesn't land.
No, that was really
and
bad.
it's funny because I was playing the first beginning part of the game, and this is when I was really enchanted with the game, and I was like, man, this is making me relive my fucking 2007 or 07, 08 adolescence, where I'm listening to Bring Me the Horizon in my room, and I'm pounding fucking monsters. I'm like, this is Kojima gets me, bro. I don't know, like the way that Norman Reedus goes about his weird little arc, like.
I was very upset with the inability to punch holes through drywall. With there being monsters in the game.
I don't know,
true.
man. Like,
that's true.
Like the whole idea is that, like, obviously you're playing as Sam, and that the themes of like isolationists and like letting people in and connecting and blah 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 blah. It fits the most with Sam just because he's the most apprehensive to it. Like, he doesn't want to do any of this shit in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he's got like a phobia of being touched.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and he's got like his own problems. Like, apparently there's a scene in the game where they talk about how he was married and his wife was pregnant with a child, and like something happened and it died, and that's why he calls BB Lou.
Well, weren't they caught in a void out? I think
it was probably a void out or something.
Yeah,
like
they died in a void out, and he was like away.
But for something so super important and imperative to his character, that moment's kind of like whoop, like slipped right under the rug, like. And they never touched upon again, except for like that constant reminder that he calls BB Lou, because that's what he was going to name his son.
Then translates to the very end.
Yeah,
with the reveal that it's
Louise.
a girl.
Which, by the way, how hard would it have been to look into a glass jar, like when you're thinking about, I should give this thing a name. Maybe let's see if it's a boy or a girl.
Because not everybody's fucking perverts like you, okay?
Everyone's like looking for a dick or a...
If you're gonna name something, you might want to know. That's all I'm saying.
Reason.
Granted, you never saw any indication, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that to show the sex of the baby. But I think that Sam just wanted to let the baby, not be gendered, and
so he could just
it was non-binary.
Don't fucking vicariously assume, bro.
I think he just wanted to vicariously do, oh look, here's my kid.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Honestly, with Norman Reedus, it could have been anybody else, and it would have hit the same. You know what I mean? Like,
so I'll agree with you mostly, but like there are two things that work with. Or there's one thing that works with Sam, and there's one thing that doesn't work with Sam. The thing that doesn't work with Sam is the fact that like. You go almost the entire game being this grumpy fucker that doesn't want to do any of this shit.
Oh, I know exactly where you're going.
And then all of a sudden, like, we're like, boom! We care about these characters.
And then at
By
the end
the
of the
way,
game, he gives
I
you
love
this...
everyone, and everyone touch me. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah, after you kill that giant whale fucking thing, like, and then you're like all huddled around
group
Fragile.
Come on, guys.
And he's like talking about how he's like, I've really grown to love you, and it's like, really? Because I wouldn't have fucking known.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
I wouldn't have known at all. Like, you just like, I don't know, but like. But the one thing that does work is his relationship with BB. I do feel like, but he kind of always liked BB.
Yeah.
Like, he never had a problem with BB. The cool thing, like, the introduction of BB is, like, probably one of the coolest fucking parts of the game, because you're part of, like, body disposal, and it shows you in the back of that truck, and then, like, it shows like what a void out is and all this shit, and it's like that crazy fucking moment where the other two are like trying to survive, and the rain is like, the time falls like coming down on that guy's face, and you see his face like aging and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And then there's the one part where the guy tries to fucking kill himself. He tries to shoot himself in the head, and Higgs like flips him around and like totally misses, and then he's like trying to stab himself, and he's like trying really fucking hard to kill himself. That moment is fucking cool as hell. Mm-hmm. And that's the introduction of BB. And like, we can get into BB now, but his BB is obviously a character. He's like a massive part of this game, and he's one of my favorite parts of the game. Actually,
and you learn how important he was when BB almost dies, and you have to leave him with a dead man to get it fixed, and you're just like, oh fuck, like how am I going to see these things now?
Well, does he almost die, or does I interpret it as BB? She
malfunction
was almost pulled too much to the life side.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it was.
And so he had to make sure that it wasn't too much the life side, which I think is kind of what ends up happening at the end when you revive it, is that you're pulling it all the way to the life side from the death side. And then, which I think that was cool. And honestly, the whole concept of like this Taoist concept of this balance between life and death, and that's why what's her name, Mama, her BB is on the death side completely, right? And so then you have that concept
that story,
of,
like that story got to me. I was like,
Right.
holy shit.
Dude, yeah, no, like as a parent, that shit was like hard.
Yeah, as a not parent.
Yeah, no, like that. It makes it so much worse.
And
Like,
that's why, like after you play through the game and you get this feel for BB. That's why, like when at the very end when you're doing your last delivery and you push the button to try and soothe it, and he's just like, Lou. I was just like, oh fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like,
I was fucking in
It's
tears.
that moment is among the strongest moments of the whole game.
Yeah.
So BBs are called, they're
Bridge
called that
babies.
because they're called bridge babies. They are meant to bridge us to the other side, to the beach, basically. And the beach is, explained ad nauseum, but it still doesn't make sense.
the beach is basically a limbo.
Yeah, it's
the
being stuck in limbo. It's a corridor
that middle
from
part between death and life, and it doesn't have to be a beach.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
called beaches. They can appear differently to other people, but beaches also can be entangled with other people if a large amount of people die at the same time.
And it shows that when
called Strandfields.
the first
Yes.
when the void out happens and it's going through Hartman's story, and he's moving through that crowd of people because he sees his wife and kid up there, and he doesn't get to him.
well, and that's what you go into every time you go to fight. What's his bucket?
Yeah, because that's a beach. The battlefield.
Yeah, the battlefield's a beach.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking
Cliff.
about Higgs or Cliff?
Cliff,
yeah. And
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's just where Higgs ends up getting stranded, and she's like, "No, I didn't kill him. He's just stuck there."
He chose that.
Right.
He chose that.
Yeah.
So BB plays a really important role because bridge babies have the ability to sense BTs, which are called beached things, which is
I didn't know that's what that stood for. That's monumentally stupid.
yeah.
That is the dumbest shit I've
Most
ever heard
underwhelming.
in my life.
And it just doesn't really make sense. Like, they're just people that are stuck on the beach? Like, I
mean,
still don't
Why
understand.
do they take the form of animals?
I don't really understand the beach
Yeah.
things. In fact, I feel like it's a
I
detriment
feel like
to the
I don't
game.
know how like the first void out happened, but I feel like every time someone dies and doesn't get incinerated, that's obviously where the BTs form. So I think they're just like, I don't know if you want to call it like maybe their spirit or something like that, but that's what I think.
But
Did you guys ever repatriate just for the fuck of it?
No.
What do you mean?
Like instead of when you die, instead of going into Norman Reedus's mouth, did you guys just fucking revive?
Oh no, I never did.
Dude, I did it, and it creates this giant crater.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! So
Just like-
repatriating's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I thought that going down, reviving at all, was repatriation.
No, it was just you just revive, you come back, but repatriating, dude, is wild because it just creates this giant crater, and it's just a bunch of fish.
But yeah, and then the BB also enhances anyone with dooms.
Yeah.
So
BB is part of gameplay now, because now you'll run into fields where it's like it's a haunted field where there's just BTs everywhere, and I feel like this is another con for me where it's just obnoxious because and it leads into another con that I have where it's like you're trying too hard to be realistic. But it's also being, it's overindulged in the cinematicness of it. Like every time I go into a fucking BT field, I don't have to be stopped, and then I continue to walk, and then I'm stopped again to show the animation of the Odradret coming out. It's like, holy god, this is so fucking frustrating.
I did love getting that sharpened shit from
your
Mama.
cuffs, yeah.
Oh, that was so nice. I'm just like, bitch.
It was
bitch,
nice at first
bitch.
until I would cut one and then take 2 steps and have to cut another one, take another 2 steps, there's a fucking another one.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, like, it was always super obnoxious going through those just because there was, I don't know, I never, every time there was one there, I was always just like, oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah, I gotta hold my breath and go around, and it's tense, but it's not tense 40 hours into the fucking game. Like, it's just obnoxious.
It's more like, oh, good, here's another thing that's, gonna take longer.
Well, what I wonder is, can you go around and kill every single one and eliminate all of them?
I can't imagine in any fucking world where I would have enough patience to do
exactly,
that.
but that's what I'm interested
way.
in. Like, can you go to every part of the
like,
map where
just
there is
kill
one
every beast
and just have them pull you down to whatever the animal is going to be that manifests, kill that, and then it's clean? Can you do that to all of them? Now, granted, I don't want to physically go through it, but I'm curious.
If anyone's interested...
I bet that you can do that and eliminate the field, but it'll just come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's a point where you can permanently eliminate all the BTs.
Yeah. I don't think there's a point where you can permanently eliminate anything. Because, don't even the terrorists come back if you clean them out?
Yeah.
So, I don't think anything is permanently gone. I think everything in the game repatriates.
Yeah.
So, I want to get over this really quick so I don't forget about it. I really don't like the realism in this game at all. Like, every time it tries to be a realistic video game, I feel like it deteriorates the experience for me. Like, okay, walking, is, primary way of playing the game. It's, a lot of people are talking about how this is a walking simulator or a simulator or better yet, a hiking simulator. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. I don't...
Shift to the left.
Well, I mean, like, it's... That shit is compelling for, like, a 2 to 3 hour experience. But when you're doing it over the course of anywhere between 30 to 70 hours, which, in Eddie's case, is 100 hours to platinum this game, which is preposterous. That's fucking stupid.
It quickly loses its novelty.
I'm not even.
Well, I mean, and the idea that like you're delivering these packages is cool, but at the same time, like
it's not 100 hours cool.
No,
that's for goddamn sure.
No, God, no. And like I remember hitting chapter 3, and I'm like, do I gotta do this the entire fucking game? And yup. Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Not with this game.
Yeah, no.
Not with this game.
And so, but like in tripping.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. Why do I gotta trip? Why is there a meter for everything?
I saw this video when the game. It was maybe like a month after the game came out, and I think Games Radar shared it. And it was this guy who was playing. He was playing Death Stranding, and he was on this bridge, and he had like the most packages I've ever seen on his back. And he was going. He starts to trip. He trips, hits the edge of the bridge. His packages just fucking fall into the river and just get carried away. Everything he had just carried. And he's like,
what did you learn?
He's like 100 feet up on this bridge. I don't know where he was, but like his shit's just gone. And I was like, oh no! Like I hurt for him.
I had my own moment like that where I was climbing up this god awful fucking mountain. And at the time, I didn't have any packages, so I was totally fine, and I was justified in doing what I did. But I was walking up.
Here we go.
You keep telling yourself that.
Well, I had a couple PCCs. I had like my carrier. I had like
ladders,
like all that shit. I had a good amount of shit on my back. And so I start climbing up, and I'm climbing up, and I'm climbing up, and then all of a sudden I just run out of stamina. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or what. Yeah. But I almost made it. I was so close. I made it. And I remember stopping just to let my little stamina bar reload. And then I continued to go upward. And all of a sudden I'm falling down this mountain. and my packages are going with me, you know, which is hilarious, like watching them fucking roll down the mountain. And I got down to the very bottom of the mountain because for some reason I couldn't stop. Like, I don't know if I just like hit some jank in the game and like it just like that moment when I could have stopped, I didn't. I don't know what happened.
Right.
And I just remember being at the bottom of the mountain. I panned the camera around and looked up the mountain, and I let out the most audible groan. I was like,
well, and the other thing I really hate, I fucking hate rivers and streams. Fucking hate them. Because, like, you can look at the most innocent, like, the tamest shit of all time and scan it, and there'll be, like,
just red X's
everywhere. And I'm like, the fuck, that's knee high! Like, what are you doing? Like, why can't I go through there?
I will say that it was a lifesaver, actually, to get the otter hood from Conan O'Brien.
I know.
Because you could like control yourself in the rivers with that shit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things that I didn't like was marker placing. Did you guys ever try to play?
Oh my lord, I got so confused.
And it sent you down a straight line, right?
There was very little point to using markers, except for directions in the most general of sense.
Yeah.
But like, so I would get the marker and I'd follow the marker. I was like, okay, this is a clear path. I'd go up to the top of this tall ass mountain, and at the I'm like, okay, I can put a ladder here and I can, scale over the mountain. But then it says you have gone beyond the building point. So there was a barrier. There was just like a game barrier on the top of this mountain where this marker was telling me to go.
See, I think that's what flat earthers believe. I think.
Yeah.
I think that the markers, just to interject a second, the markers would have been perfect if you could see the terrain on the map to map it out, but you couldn't. It was like a hologram.
Well, and the markers were there because if you take the straightest path and don't go around anything, you get extra points. The points don't really fucking matter in the end of the day, but I think that was the concept.
Welcome to Death
there,
Stranding, where the points don't matter.
I know,
the points
that's
don't
exactly
matter.
what I was thinking.
And then it just the whole inventory juggling is madness. It took me 3 chapters to really figure out.
It's good you say that.
I'm doing.
Well, and
it's good to say that. That's my next fucking point.
Yeah, and like a blood bag is in a fucking briefcase. Like, why does it need to be in a package that fucking big?
Well, you could have transferred it to your.
Well, no, yeah, but like, I'm just saying, like, even the smallest of items
is a blood suitcase,
right? Like. It doesn't really seem to make sense. Like,
why does a blood bag have to take an entire fucking suitcase? Like, why can't you put why isn't it like packs of 3 or something like that? I don't know.
Like, and when you put it in your little transfusion bag, like, it's like you're putting the entire suitcase in there because there's no remnants of the package that you discard. Like,
so going back to what you were saying, right? I'm sorry, were you finished?
Well, no, I mean that's basically it. Like, package management is fucking bonkers because everything is so goddamn huge.
I did like the fact that you could arrange them in the cargo screen. Like, it would auto arrange them for you in the best way.
Yeah.
It's a godsend. Pressing
was.
Triangle on that screen is like, I did that probably over 1,000 times.
I did it every time.
Every time.
Every time.
I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
The UI for this game is so bad. It is.
Oh my god,
Derek! That was your first initial complaint.
First thing
it's
that I
so
said.
bad.
Yeah,
I can't. Oh my god, it's like one of the worst fucking. Like,
why
parts
does
of this
accepting
game.
a mission take 10 goddamn button clicks? Like.
Thank you to Weird Sense. He's got to get going. But thank you so much for coming.
Word.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah.
Thank you. I always appreciate your thoughts.
I like
being on the show, man.
You son of a
come back and tell everybody why Star Wars sucks in the future.
Oh my god,
this wasn't even my idea.
Yeah, we gotta have you on for those because I would love to have someone that bitches as much as I do.
And I think the last thing I'll say about the game before I leave is, and I'm sure you guys are going to talk about this, but the big reveal, right? The big reveal of the game of who
Cliff
is in relationship to Sam, I thought was cool.
It works.
And I thought that when you see the scar of why Norman Reedus has that gnarly scar, I was like, okay, that's cool. That's storytelling. And if they had just kept all of that and added some other mechanics or some other reward for helping other players, I think it would have been worth the length of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
Yep.
Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to be on the show.
Absolutely.
We'll have you on again for sure.
Yeah, and if you're out there, make sure you're becoming their Patronus or whatever Eddie said. Mine's
subscribe
mine's
to
a
our
coyote.
Patronus.
We are Patronus.
So if you guys be their
Protect us.
Patronus,
I'm a
you'll get
stag.
lots of different gifts and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All
Thanks
right.
again, Weird Sense.
Thank you, sir.
The text was
Yeah.
so small.
Well,
like,
I mean, you guys know how not large my living room is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a fairly standard, like medium, smallish sized living room, and I was sitting on my couch that's directly across from the TV. That is not a great distance.
No.
Like, what is that? 10 feet?
Yeah.
Maybe
Not
a
much.
little.
So
maybe a
your
little more?
furthest back couch, like
Yeah.
up against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't read a goddamn thing this says, and I. So
All right,
I
let me
literally-
walk up to the screen.
No, I literally like an old fucking person with thick ass glasses that can't see shit. I had to move over to the other couch and sit basically right in front of the TV.
You had to
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo that
I
shit.
did. I had to fucking Magoo it and be like right fucking there just to see anything.
yeah, I totally agree with that because, you know, I'm not too far away from my TV and my TV is considerably bigger than yours.
Yeah.
And I still had issues.
I need to ask this because we obviously all finished the game. How do you end up being able to pass the time until the president talks, or like does that ever happen?
No, you just
You just keep
Just
going.
continue going.
You
I
just
was like,
finish the
okay,
game.
because at first I was like, oh my god, there's more.
No.
See, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh no,
it just like you can't like go on after the game because it would make no
yeah,
sense.
it would. It wouldn't make zero sense.
Well, I
So-
thought that there was like, you know, you finish up a couple things. It maybe is an in-game timer. Then he does that. Then you keep playing.
No. That's why it takes you to 2 weeks before the because you have BB still in the thing,
Yeah.
and you're able to.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense for you to do orders for a company that you've left behind and gotten rid of your cuff.
Yeah, UI really bad.
It's-
Really bad. Like packing way too much into into a screen. Like it's just not fucking good at all.
What I was saying earlier too, like why can't, if somebody says, "Hey, here's a mission for you," why can't I just go yes and
Right.
be fucking done with it?
No, you gotta go to a terminal.
Well,
Like
no, yeah, no,
every
I'm-
time you load into a new chapter, like it's like Sam, make sure to go to the
No,
terminal.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with going to the
It's
terminal.
just like
But why
pushing
can't the
all these-
Yeah, like why do I have to hit X 1,000 goddamn times
hold
to
X.
pick up?
Oh,
Well, no,
don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, no, and why is it that like this would have been so much nicer to turn in like your quest, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, and you know how you can hit R1 to skip through that shit.
Yep.
Why can't it just be auto on if you've hit auto on forever?
Just stay it on.
You have to do it like every now and then
because this game doesn't respect your time at all.
It does not.
As opposed to a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, where it doesn't respect your time at all. However,
It's massive.
in RDR2, it is compelling.
It is.
It's immersive.
Like for me,
it's
every
fun.
aspect of that game was wonderful.
However, this is where it goes wrong. Where
Okay.
it's just like, it's the same fucking thing over and over and over again. You know, and like, this is kind of the example that I've come to understand, is that just because there are these absorbent fucking animations and everything, and like, every time you make a delivery, it's the same fucking animation. It's the same cutscene.
Yeah.
Every time the Odor deck comes out to tell you that there's BTs, every fucking time it tells you all this shit, right? So, it continues to happen. I don't understand this. Why couldn't they program the Odor deck to just come out one time per playstyle? or per per starting the game up. That way, I understand you have to let the player know that there's BTs. However, you do it 3 fucking times.
Yeah, because your hood goes up, then your Odor deck comes
Well,
out.
your hood comes up because of the time fall.
Well, no, yeah, obviously. But, I'm just saying, if your hood's coming up, obviously
there's a good chance that there's BTs around.
Obviously, there's time fall, and then, there's pretty damn good
but
chance
then
BTs are around.
You
so you
stop.
take 3 steps, and then your Odor deck comes out.
Yeah, which is the most frustrating fucking thing ever because you're on a bike and you're hauling ass and then you stop. You literally halt to a complete stop just to tell you, hey, you're coming near BT territory. And I understand you gotta fucking tell your players that you're coming across this shit.
That's what they have the different flashing for. That's
fucking so
that's
stupid.
all you need. That's all you need.
It should have just been because when you're walking and you hit BTs, it slows down, and then you can keep moving. That's how it should have been if you're in a truck or on a bike. It should just go into slow motion, and it should allow you to keep driving if you want. You're going to get fucked, but...
completely shuts off your vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, so this is the example that I was leading up to. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you have to manually go down and pick up shit from a dead body, right? There's an animation for you to go down, pick everything up. It takes a solid, 1.5 seconds for him to do that. And so when you're doing that across, 10 different bodies, it can take a lot of time. As opposed to The Witcher 3, and I know you haven't played that game, but it's similar. You walk up to a dead body... There's no...
You just push loot.
You press X and then it opens up a little menu and you can take what you want.
Yeah.
However, there's no animation for that at all. It's just seamless within the game. Personally, I fall under the camp that it is better for The Witcher. The way that The Witcher goes about it is better because it doesn't fucking waste your time. There's other shit you want to be doing. You don't want to spend 10 minutes in a fucking bandit camp bending down just to pick up 2 pistol rounds from some fuck, it.
Well, and here's the other thing though too about that just stands out to me when you say the difference between this game and Red Dead. In this game,
one of them I actually went back and played.
I know, right? For real. So in this game, it doesn't matter what on earth you're wanting to do. It's all the same quest. You may be delivering different shit.
It's one note.
It's all the same quest.
Yep.
Over and over and over. Whereas Red Dead, you have so many different kinds of quests that are so dynamic, and there's just so many different things to do. It's all a different experience. Every little thing you're doing.
I never read the brief.
Oh, never.
Where I took a mission. Yeah, you want me to take shit. I know.
I'll go.
Let's just give it to me. Let's do this.
Give it to me and I'll fucking follow my compass and I'll just
All right, let's go. This guy wants his Amazon Prime shipping. I gotta get going.
Let's go.
Yeah. Give me the box. I'll take the box.
I don't know, like I said, it's not a good video game at all. I really don't think it as a video game it's not good at all. However, it's everything else that and I don't really want to focus. I've talked a lot about my gripes with the game, and I'm sure, and I'm not saying you guys can't talk more shit about it. You go ahead, and I'll enjoy it. I don't really want this to be a negative review because I don't negatively think upon this game at all.
Oh,
in fact,
God, I do.
I like as a game, I fucking hate it, but it's as a piece of entertainment.
Yeah.
I've come to understand it a little bit and really come to really dig it. But it's that story. I feel like there are 2 things that, I guess 3 things that keep you going, essentially. One is obviously the intrigue in the story. And, there's a very obvious, there's a good amount of, carrot on the stick. You're always looking for the next thing.
The cliff clips
for me,
were great.
For me, it was
kept me going.
For me, what kept me going was you're playing. It's giving you all of this diluted stuff. You're just like, okay, what's going on with that? And then I think what is it, chapter 6 when you have to take Mama's body to Lochner? Is that chapter 6? That's when it starts snowballing and picking up speed. And at that point, I was like, I gotta keep playing this game because it's got me in a vice grip by the balls, and I want to learn.
You want to see the game through.
If you're going into this much depth on this one character at this point, I want to learn about every other single character, and then towards the end, when you started getting more pieces of Cliff's story, I was like, oh, yes. Because you are always wondering about him, because every time you come out of your private room and connect to BB, you're getting flashes of him, and I'm just like, what, is he like the dad or something?
Those were great.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to
it was a good build-up to give you everything towards the end.
So, if I were to leave, like, a critical review, like a critic-type review of this game, it would basically be, I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I will never play it again.
Yeah, that was like almost verbatim what I said earlier.
It's true. The game is compelling as far as the story. I agree with you, Cole, when you say that, you don't like it as a game, and I think I agree to that. I agree with that in the sense that I feel like if this were a Until Dawn, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human type of game, I think I would have enjoyed it much more.
I would be raving.
Yeah.
Because I've said it once and I'll say it again, Detroit Become Human is one of the best games I've ever played.
I agree.
And I spent 3 months platinuming that shit.
So, like, I'm glad to have experienced it, but had I played this game before we did our 10 best, it would not be anywhere near there. It wouldn't be in the 10 worst.
My takeaway or like leave away to leave with people listening that, if you haven't played the game and you're just like, fuck it, I'll hear what they have to say, because we didn't talk about everything. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
There's so much more to talk about. We'd be here for hours.
I mean, it's like you and Cole, Eddie, said before we played the game, when you guys got it, you're just like, I can't explain why I'm into this game. I would say if you have to, like, borrow it from somebody, or if you want to take the dive and buy it, like, play it. And then, like, get your own reviews on it. Like, don't take our word for it, because
there are people out there that really dig the gameplay.
We all have
really dig it.
We all, in a sense, kind of think the same thing, but majorly about the game, but we each have our own, things that we like and things that we didn't like, so we can't, I would recommend playing it.
I mean,
you have to experience it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You should definitely experience it. I mean, even if the final mission is a kick in the dick.
So, this is where I'll end my piece. I am a huge Kojima fan. I always have been. I'm pretty sure I always will be. Just because, like, if this didn't break me, I don't know fucking... I don't know what will. You know what I mean? The main things that I love about this game are... One, Yoji Shinkawa is godly. The way that he creates everything in this game, the way he makes everything look, like the suits, the guns, the buildings, the aesthetic, like everything about this game is so fucking cool.
Die Hardman, like, was very aesthetically pleasing. Like, I loved his look.
And Higgs, like, Higgs was so fucking cool looking, and
he kind of like, tell me if you agree with this. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt,
no, go ahead.
Like, the way his cape was decorated, like, he kind of had this Egyptian thing going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not only that, he has hieroglyphs.
Oh, does? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
another. I don't know if this was intentional. I don't think it was, but I brought this up as I was playing through the game. But I was just like, I sat there and I had this moment of realization, and I was like, "Yo, TB backwards is BT."
Clever.
Yeah.
I like that his name was Higgs. Like, that was
really
satisfying.
I really well.
It's not like an ominous, like, villainous name.
Well, it's based on something
it's
really
Higgs
cool.
Boson.
Yeah, it's based on that, the God Particle. Mm-hmm. That's why when you beat him, the trophy's called the God Particle. Yeah. Yoji Shinkawa does not get enough recognition. That guy is, like, seriously, he's created some of the most iconic fucking artwork in video games, period. He's a master. He's a master. The other thing that the game leaves you on, and so I'm going to remember this game by its ending, is pretty pretty much just how really well it lands. It nails the landing of the game. Like I feel like that ending part when you're finding out about Amelie and all this shit, like I thought I was like, oh my god, where it's like Amelie comes up, like you're on the beach, right? Like you've stopped Apocalypse because you're getting your credits and everything, and you're just running on the beach, which is all I really did. And then it's funny because I was running on the beach and I was like, and then all of a sudden I fucking put the song on and I'm like just fucking running, listening to that stupid fucking song. Just because of how preposterous
Did you notice that if you tried to run like towards the mountains, like you'd get sick and then it would like send you back?
Yeah.
I tried to drown myself.
Yeah?
Because I was like, fucking end the game already. Please, Jesus Christ.
By the way, who the fuck names a baby Lou? Lou.
It sounds like a Norman Reedus thing.
You know,
it sounded hey, what do you want your BB to be named?
To me, it sounds like Tony PlayStation named it.
Hey, Tony!
Hey, Lou!
Did you name this fucking baby?
Hey, Lou, you want some formula? Lou!
So, with the BB, right?
That was a good callback, by the way.
I feel like that shit really works, personally, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that connection between Sam and the BB is made pretty early on in the game, and then like there are moments where, and it's pretty clear because the worst part of the game is when you don't have BB with you, when you're on that fucking mountain sequence and everything just comes to a screeching halt, plot and all, and there's just nothing you can do about it, and you're like forced to go through without BB.
You can't just wait it out. You have to progress the missions in the story.
Oh my god, I hate that fucking part. However, the way that they end the BB part is super compelling to me. And you can chalk it up to me just being a sentimental fool or whatever, but the way that they handled the ending is really cool. Like the reveal of Cliff being, like what Weird was saying, the reveal of Cliff being Sam's father, I felt like was really, really good. Like, and it gave kind of like a satisfying reason on why we should care about this Cliff guy.
Yeah, because it's like at first throughout the game, you're, like I mentioned, when you come out of your room and you get those flashbacks, you're like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you get to the battlefield for the first time and you're just like, why is this guy gunning for me?
Yeah.
And then as the game progresses, it gives you, especially towards the end, when it gives you that whole scene between like seeing what Cliff did, with his wife, with him and Die Hardman, and you're just like, holy shit, okay, I totally understand.
I really love that part.
And I was kind of just expecting them to leave it at, oh well, he's just trying to get revenge, so go kill him or get rid of him. Like I was just expecting his story to kind of stop right there.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice that they had all of that additional stuff that really tied it together.
And Chapter 14 is just gut wrenching. From the beginning to end, it is absolutely fucking gut wrenching.
That last delivery where you're taking BB up to the incinerator, I was like, because I was like, oh, I wonder, and then he's like, I'm sorry, Lou, and I was just like, oh fuck, dude, no, don't do this to me.
Because he's like, because you come up and Deadman's like, yeah, I mean we always knew that this was gonna happen, but BB has passed. And
you have to incinerate it, or else it will cause another void.
It's going to go necro. We need to take it. And so your one final mission, your one final delivery is taking Lou up to the incinerator, which is while it's cool, it's like where we begin is where we end. Like
I didn't think of that.
That's kind of a cool little theme. But like while you're going, it does the crazy pan out, and then it starts playing BB's theme, and I was like, oh! And so that was actually a little mini reveal for me, is because I didn't know that song that they were singing was BB's theme.
Oh,
and so when they start singing the actual song, and it comes up as like, oh my god, this is the song for BB. I didn't cry, but I was incredibly moved.
Oh,
yeah.
I did.
And if I watch,
I'm not ashamed.
I loved that part, and I definitely teared up. But that was quickly replaced by, where the fuck am I going? Because they took away the map completely for whatever asshole reason.
Yeah.
And then
No, you've been here before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like you were
Remember?
you were here at the beginning of a 100-hour game.
The song's long. You'll make it.
Yeah.
Like so not only that, but like as you're leaving the facility, you still have like in the real world you have that little icon, that little what's what I'm thinking of? No,
Compass?
Like the waypoint?
yeah, like the hologram of the waypoint, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. I'll just fuck it, disappeared.
Yeah.
And then it was just gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, trying to go off of memory, totally got my ass lost. I was completely like,
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I was in completely the wrong place.
Sorry for your loss.
And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just die and it'll put me back there. And I died, and it was like, nah, you're still right here, motherfucker. And I was like, God damn it. All right, so I'll just load my game. So I reloaded the game, and I was like, fuck this. Because, like, I was like, you know, I left the facility, and this time that hologram stayed there for a little bit longer. And I was like, oh, good. It's going to stay. Nope, it's fucking gone again.
It's like that. Insurance commercial with the old guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you almost had it.
Exactly. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not moving from this spot. I fucking YouTubed somebody who did the last mission, and it was like, oh, okay, I go this way.
So you just followed the video, like, with you while you were playing?
Well, kind of. Like, I just watched, because, like, at the beginning, where I went straight, he, like, went off and veered left. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I veered left and then used like this one kind of different mountain, like it stood out, you know, to me because it was just like fucking very angular, and so I just kind of used that as my waypoint and then went over that and then finally got down and figured it out. But I was like, seriously? All of the fuck yous in this game weren't enough.
Like,
you
I'm
had to take
so
away,
close.
like you had to do this to me at the end. Like just another like, you know what? Yeah, that pissed me the fuck off.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
That
Because
pissed.
that was like...
It ruined that mission for me. It completely ruined it.
Yeah, that sucks. Because this part is like the part that like really lands for me.
Yeah.
It really like cemented like its themes.
That part for me, and then in where you get to Mama's lab, and then later on you find out about her child and what happened to her, and I was just like, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
You're just putting this on me out of like 20 hours of just meaningless gameplay. It's like, oh, by the way, she had a baby, but it's dead. I'm just like, what?
Take that. Like, so I will say this though.
Yeah.
All of the extremely emotional moments that were in this game were awesome, but they do not touch Last of Us.
Oh no, it's a different plane. That's like a different plane of existence. Like,
oh yeah.
And I don't think anybody was planning on this game to be anywhere near.
Right.
So at the top of this hill, we're at the incineration place, and you know, obviously it goes into a lot of cutscenes about Cliff and revealing who Sam really is. The part that didn't make me cry on the beginning, but if I rewatch it like at all, like on YouTube, I definitely will, is the part when Sam puts BB on the table, and then right as it's about to close, he takes him out again.
Yeah.
Because Dead Man like puts a little bit of hope into him.
Right.
He's like, you
You
try.
hear his words echo, like, you can't, you can try to take it out, but I don't know what it will do.
Yeah, you can try, but you know, and
I
like,
mean,
and it's a
and
direct violation of the UCA.
Yeah, and obviously
Like,
that's
you'll be
what
reprimanded.
He's planting that seed intentionally. Like, he wants you to take it out. He wants you to do that.
Well, and not only that, he also tells you about
Yeah.
your cufflinks.
Yeah,
It's like,
he
hey,
takes
you
it
take this
offline.
off, you're off the grid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he took it offline, and he said that it wouldn't come back online until he, you know, finished the incineration.
Yeah.
Like, when he triggered the incineration, that would turn his cufflink back on.
And
so he
so-
could take it off any time between now and then.
The moment that happens when he takes it, you know, it pans to the empty BB pod and the fluid on the ground. And Norman Reedus, this is the best acting I've ever seen out of Norman Reedus.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for
easily.
real.
It's like him, like, and like, because I feel like he was actually there. Like, he like actually really did care about this character,
Right?
And like, he takes this little, and like, it's probably like a second trimester baby, right? Or like early third. Like, it's very small baby, not fully formed and everything. And he's just like taking it out, holding him just like on the top part of his forearm with his head in his palm, and he's just like rubbing him, just like, hey, like wake up, like, come on, like, wake up.
Part of me was expecting him to shake it.
Okay, can I tell you? So, I mean,
I shook him plenty.
dude, no, so I only did it once.
Shut the fuck up!
I only did it once just because I thought
damn it!
I thought it would be funny, but like, because all the other times I would rock him, I rocked him normally, but one time I was like, I wonder.
And you did.
And I did. I shook the.
You son of a bitch.
Were you in your house and like you looked around to make sure nobody was watching?
I love how the
water.
Did.
I
love how the BB pod turns red. It's like, you're doing something bad. You should stop.
This is not working for BB.
You were gonna give him shaken BB syndrome.
I was.
Anyways,
all of a sudden, did it? Sam, don't shake the BB.
But like the way that he like is like acting and like actually it seemed like he gave a fuck, and he's like, fuck, I really want this to work. And then like there's a moment where he like gives up. He's like, I can't, like, and there's like the chiral stream making it seem like that Lou was becoming a BT baby basically. And he like gives up, and he just puts him in like that moment when he realizes it's alive. Lou's alive, and then like she's got the necklace from Emily, like obvious, and implying that Emily had something to do with this, which I thought was really cool. Like, Emily obviously cares very much about Sam. He knows that this is what Sam wants, and then it's that shot of like, it's like a wide shot of Sam holding Lou to his chest, and then there's all the BT babies that are like surrounding him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like, that is some cool fucking shit.
It really was.
And then him, and it's very weird, but like him, like not the final shot, but the last shot of him walking out of the incinerator place with Lou, and it's raining,
and
but
nothing's
his
happening.
shit isn't on.
Yeah.
And so it makes you think like, okay, now that shit's not fucky anymore, maybe the timefall is not timefall anymore. Maybe it's actually
And then
rain.
the last one was him like showing back up, and he's just like drenched.
Yeah.
And he's got Lou, when he shows back up to the city.
Yeah.
And, like, he just walks in, and you're just like, what? Wait a minute. What was that hood shit for?
Yeah.
I love the fact that this is what they were, but I love the fact that you called them BT babies. Totally reminds me of the PC babies on South Park.
And then that final shot of his hand, and then like Lou's hand like coming up.
Yeah.
And then the reveal of him calling it Louise.
Eloise? Or
it's Louise.
Is it just Louise? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a girl. Like, I thought that was really cool. It's super, like, I don't know. It just fucking worked for me. And like, in a way, it's kind of related to my whole wiener incident in Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2.
His horse.
Oh, right.
I shared a connection.
Did someone grab your wiener?
No, I wish. Like there.
Dutch, what are you doing?
I shared
a wiener incident.
I shared a connection with this thing that I didn't really know that I had.
Right.
As opposed to Wiener, where I absolutely had a connection with that horse and loved it and used it to my full ability. Like that.
Sure you did.
That fucking.
I'm sure you used the fuck out of that wiener.
That horse was my fucking friend. Like, and it still hurts to this day. Rest in peace, Wiener.
Rip.
But I didn't know that I had this. I had this really weird connection with.
Don't rip the wiener.
With Lou. I just didn't know. I didn't know I had this connection, and then all of a sudden it just like fucking hit me. I'm like, oh my god, I care about that. I care about the baby.
Yeah, my realization with that was like when they tell you, like I said before, when you have to do your last delivery and you're going up, and you still have the option to like soothe BB. But it's just him like going, Lou,
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, and I was just like, oh my god, dude, it's dead.
Well, and then like, it's rough, and like he's like making comments the whole way up, talking about like, oh, it's our last delivery, and I'm like, fuck me, man. Like, I didn't expect it to hit that hard, but it did. It definitely did. And fuck you for doing two end credits.
I know,
right?
Well, and not just that, but like, could the credits themselves have been any longer? Like where Amelie keeps interrupting that first set of credits over and over.
I understand
over.
what
Like,
he was going for. I
yeah.
do. I understand what he was going for, but
look,
it just
for me, it would have been just as effective if she got it all out in one sprint. Just set it all out there, finish the goddamn credits.
Yeah.
Instead of every fucking 20 seconds.
I just don't like the idea of showing the credits. Everything about that scene works fine for me if they just didn't show the fucking credits. And it's like it's obviously a ploy to say like, hey, the game's ending.
Right.
This is how the game is ending: is that Sam's just in purgatory, stuck on the beach. And then there's the moment when he like puts the gun to his head and blah blah blah. But then that's the way that they found him. Whatever.
Yeah.
The real ending of the game is so strong that it doesn't really deter, like that shitty moment on the beach with the first set of credits doesn't deter this.
Yeah, I mean,
for me,
and maybe that would have been the case for me too, had I not got fucking lost and ruined the second ending.
Oh, and speaking back to like the big reveals, like that huge build up, and then at the very end of the game, Die Hardman takes his mask off, and I was like, there it is. I was wondering when I would see this fucker's face, and there it is.
His reveal of him like with Sam in that hallway where he talks about how fucking hard it was for him to kill Cliff.
Oh yeah,
that was some like I fucking hated Die Hard, man, the majority of the game. Yeah, and then this one part comes up.
Even earlier than that, though, when they finally do show the scene where he's talking to Cliff and going, "Look, man, you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is what I can do for you. I'm doing what I can, but if it comes down to it, I gotta do what she says. I got to. I have to do that."
He did as much as he could. Like when
Yeah,
when Cliff was running out of the thing, he stopped everybody. He's like, no, hold your fire.
It landed. It landed.
And I
me.
love that in the end, he wasn't even the one who pulled the trigger. He still wouldn't do it, and the fucking Bridget had to actually grab his hand and forcefully make him shoot him.
And then when Sam is like, not physically, but when he's like mentally there, and he's like trying to like stop everything from happening, but he just passes right through everybody.
Yeah, so
then when Cliff can touch him, oh my god.
Yeah, that was crazy too. Yeah, I love that part too.
It was
like the last 2 hours of this game. I'm like fucking in love.
It was also really, really kind of hit for me when Cliff knew that like he had to end his wife's life, and he just like silently threw the pillow, and I was just like,
I mean, obviously that's Mads Mikkelsen's acting, which is really great. His inclusion in the beginning part of the game, I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. Like, he's just fucking here. Like, I made that joke to you where I was like, Mads Mikkelsen's character literally meant nothing.
Yeah.
You see him in the beginning of the flashbacks, you're just like, oh good, he's drunk in front of the baby. Like, what kind of father is this?
I just thought he was some like crackpot scientist.
That fucking reveal, though.
That made the babies.
That fucking reveal that like when he's like, it looks like he's sleeping. Yeah. And he's talking about how he was scared to be a father.
Yeah, and you realize
and then it reveals that he was fucking shot, and he's like on the ground saying that shit. I'm like, oh my god, this is really good. Like, this is compelling shit.
That tie-in was super nice. I really liked that.
I just want to say right now, like, this is for future episodes. I'm gonna shit on this game all the time, but I really do dig it.
Yeah,
like I really dig.
It was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said.
Not a good game, a good experience.
Like I said, it's not going to be on any top 10 list of mine ever, as far as good games, good
video games.
But it's not going to be on the bottom either.
Yeah,
it's not going to be on the bottom 10.
It was definitely a memorable experience.
Yeah,
it's very hard to hate it.
We recommend you take that on.
Absolutely. just try it out. Seriously, just try it out. And like obviously we've spoiled the fuck out of it for you.
Go buy it from Redbox because they're getting rid of all their game inventory.
Yeah. That's right.
Dude, you'd end up spending like $60 just.
No, dude, those games are dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Well, they're not coming with anything, and they're used games.
No,
so
yeah.
it's like the price is obviously.
I was looking through them the other day just because I was curious, and fucking 76 was in there for $7.99.
Yeah,
that's still too much.
Well, that concludes our experience with Death Stranding.
Thank God.
Like
my real life experience with it too. That's it. It's over.
Please, we recommend it.
Derek doesn't.
I recommend you experience it, but goddamn.
Or just if you have to, just watch somebody play.
Yeah.
As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcourt Podcast.
You can shoot us an email at nerdcourtpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you want to have more experiences with us, subscribe to our Patreon.
You trying to make fun of me, motherfucker?
Yeah. Patreon.com/Nerdcourt Podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to giveaways and bonus content. And if you can't make a monthly contribution, consider donating to our PayPal, paypal.com/Nerdcourt Podcast. We want to have the best equipment, the best loot, and the best things to give you so that you can experience the Nerd Corporation with us.
We're a good experience. We're just not a very good game.
Yeah, we're a terrible game. Terrible game.
For the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Nick Lewis.
And I'm Derek Reese.
See you in the void. Don't make fun of me. Y'all don't come up with shit.
Fuck you, bitch.